And shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in the field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea, and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore, and sat down, and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away.
A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down.
You are my servants. Remember your place. We obey your majesty. We are honored to toil for you.
The time is right. The harvest will yield. The world
A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down.
Yes, Your Highness. We will obey. You are doing well. Thank you, my king. Let them see the might of the throne. Yes, Your Majesty. Work. Let the land yield its riches. Yes, Your Majesty. I survey my domain. They are toiling as commanded. Yes, Your Majesty. We work until the sun sets. Let them work. The yield today is satisfactory. Keep them working. Yes, Your Majesty.
A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation to the hopeful that out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Pushing to get up out of there. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh by Shema Shai. And what I want to get into today, so like if I want to get into the day, is dealing with how, hard times are ahead, and people, think that, what people have in their mind and what's to come is completely different. As a lot of people know that the devils, all right, are pushing, for another lockdown. Okay. And people in their mind think that they can prep their way out of these situations. People think that there's a time coming that they can just make preparations, okay, by their own means and ride this thing out. No, this is the grand finale. Okay, this is the grand finale. This is it. There's judgment that's coming down the pipe. Okay, this isn't just the rich white man. All right, and the shadow government. Okay, manufacturing a situation on the earth. No, they're just a piece of the Lord's judgment. There's Esau and his wickedness, man. Okay, they're just a piece of the Lord's judgment, man. The Lord is angry, all right, with society, man. Okay, this is what people don't understand. Everyone's, trying to be this expert prepper now and get online and tell people what they should be doing and, do this and do that and, 90 days. And listen. This the grand finale, man. The Lord finna clear this bitch out. Okay? There's no preparation. The Lord wants you in America, has it for you to be in America when the nukes hit, man. Okay? Ain't no preparation for that. You see? So when you go here, let's start off here. Let's get the book of this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 21. It said, For then shall great tribulation, all right, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Okay, so we're in a time of great tribulation, so bad, okay, that the scripture called the worst time ever. You see? And people think, just because they know a little information, because now information travels so fast, all right, and people think because they know a little information, they got some type of insight to survival. Nah, man, don't work like that, man. Okay, this is the judgment of the Lord that's getting ready to come to the earth, man. All right. Like I say, this is not just random events. Esau just doing another money grab. No, this is the judgment of the Lord. Okay, and Esau is just a tool. You see, you tribes, you have no clue. You Edomites, you have no clue what's written in prophecy concerning what's to come. Okay, so America, with you proud Edomites, okay, you proud other nations, because these other nations come here and they take on the pride of America, okay, and you proud as 2/3. Okay, this is judgment coming. Okay, for all their pride. Okay, so let's go here. Matter of fact, let's get this in let's get this in the book of 2nd Ezra. You see, pride finna be addressed in the earth, man. And no one's considering, okay, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right, everybody's trying to explain what's going on, not knowing that they're in the crosshairs of judgment. You see, everybody wants to be an expert now. Okay, not understanding. No, you in the crosshairs. See, what you think you in the clear because you know a thing or two? Nah, man, you in the crosshairs. Okay, of judgment, man. So this is 2nd Ezra 15:1 said, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. See, this is the time to be listening to the prophets, man. Okay, this is the time where the prophets, all right, should be hearkened to, man. But we know only 1/3, okay, of our people are meant to listen. Okay, because the Lord gave his men, okay, the full picture, man, and you listen to brothers as a body, man, hey, you got everything we need. It's sufficient. Okay? That's why you listen to the prophets. Hey, that's all you need. The true prophets of Yahweh, that's all you need. Okay? And the Lord has us, watching, different experts and different things. Okay? But listening through them and filtering through the spirit. Okay? People just taking in all this random information and thinking they got it figured out. Nah, man, don't work like that, man. Okay? The Lord put his words, his prophecies in the mouth of his prophets, man. And the prophets listening to each other, us listening to each other, man, to get that spiritual perspective on what's happening, man. Verse 2 says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, which is the Bible, the scriptures. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, man. So we're not here to convince, we're here to teach. Okay, so if thorough teaching, sound doctrine itself doesn't convince you, well, we're not here to convince you. Okay, because if you need to be convinced, then you got to pull teeth. Okay, for you to get it, well, hey, it's not for you, man. All right, because scripture say the sheep hear his voice, man, and the voice of Yahweh is echoing through the prophets. Okay, and the hopeful elect, they hear their voice, all right, and they follow. Okay, but it's written that you're gonna have a lot of our people that don't have the ability to believe, man, and we keep it moving. Nothing personal, we keep it moving, man. Verse 4 says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. We know how this goes. Our people, they refuse Yahweh. Okay, refuse repentance, refuse mercy. Okay, they're gonna die in their unfaithfulness, and they're gonna die not believing. Okay, and this is what the Lord getting ready to bring to the earth. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, okay, famine, death, and destruction. You see, and people think that they can prepare, all right, for 2nd Ezra 15:5. All right, that they can prep and ride this thing out, man. You're not gonna ride out 2nd Ezra 15:5, man. You're gonna be out of that. This is for sure gonna get you out of there, man. Either by the sword, civil unrest, famine, starving to death. And death is just so vague and broad, man. There's so many, and the Most High is unlimited, man. And the ultimate destruction is what? This war, this third world's war, man. So ain't nobody outside the elect. Okay, outside the elect in America, man, no one's gonna make it out of 2nd Ezra 15:5, man. No American's gonna make it out of it outside of the elect. Okay, and then it tells you why. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Okay, wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, man. Look at what you people, all right, vouch for in America. Look at what you celebrate. Okay. Look at your culture as a society, man, as a nation, man. Okay, Esau, Edom, as you Americans, in complete rebellion against Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. All right, to the point where wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So we to the time where the Lord, okay, has had enough. You see. This is what you people, you see, you try, in your mind, you think just, some shadow government, they got this going, you into trying to put the pieces together with the shadow government, but you ain't putting the pieces together. No, your hurtful works are almost fulfilled. The earth is in bad standings with its creator. Okay, that's why scripture say he's finna visit the earth which he made. He visited the earth in the flood. Okay, he visited Sodom and Gomorrah with fire. Now he's finna get ready to visit America with a flood of fire, man. Okay, they said they're hurtful works, man. You people are hurtful to the earth. Esau has made a society where people are hurtful to the earth, man. Okay? So nah, man, the Heavenly Father finna judge. Okay? This is where we at now. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. The book of Sirach. You get that in Tobit too. I'd like to get that in Tobit. Book of Tobit, chapter 4. I believe it's like yep. Tobit 4:13 says, "Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people." It says, "And not taking the wife of them, for in pride is destruction. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay." All right, and America's in decay, man. Okay, America is the most decayed place on the earth, and America has tainted the world. You see, no one's looking at it from that angle. No, this place is full of pride, so it's set for destruction. This place is lewd. Okay, this is a very vile and sick and twisted place, man. Okay, and you people don't stand for righteousness, man. Okay, and it says, "And in lewdness is decay and great want, for lewdness is the mother of famine." So guess what lewdness births? It births famine. Okay, and it is a very lewd society, man. Okay, so now this judgment that's coming is a result of behavior in the earth, and especially here in America. You see, and people in their mind, they think they're gonna ride this out. Nah, man, ain't no riding it out, man. Okay, the Most High finna check some boxes, man. Okay, this is it. America is not finna exist anymore, man. What are the Let me see. Let's go from there. I'm gonna play this. Play this quick video. All right. It said people are getting prepared for what's coming, and it's scary. You can't get prepared for what's coming. Only the hopeful elect, okay, can be prepared for what's coming. That's being prepared in Yahweh Bashim Shah. Other than this, it's a complete waste of time. Okay, so let's listen. Let's listen to this real quick.
Let me emphasize this again. We don't have much time left for prepping. Time is running out. The hourglass is almost sifted through. Guys, I am not fooling you. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not blowing smoke in your face. It is down to the wire. Get up to 90 days minimum fast. Tomorrow, whatever it takes. Put it as a top priority. Nothing else matters except you surviving 90 days. And in those 90 days, you are going to learn other ways of surviving. We talk about this stuff and we both agree time is running out. Okay? By whatever means, get food. And I'm going to double underline this, enough water. And you're not going to use it for showers. You're not going to use it for baths. And you're going to use a whole bunch canning beans or cooking beans and cooking rice. So have instant rice on hand. Yes, save the beans and rice, but can the beans. Yes, I'll do a demo. But you need a pressure canner, guys, or you're going to be standing in front of a stove with a boiling pot of water for, gosh, probably 2.5 hours. And do not do that on a glass top.
Americans are getting prepared for.
Americans can't get prepared. Okay? Only thing Americans can do is get destroyed. All right? If you're not of the elect, the only thing you can do is be destroyed. Okay, in America, man. Okay? And she's talking about get 90 days. And then within those 90 days, and she's talking about 90 days of food. You know? So she like get up to 90 days in food, and then in those 90 days, you're gonna learn, okay, other survival skills. Well, damn, how powerful is that? You see how powerful that is? Okay? You see how the Lord not mentioned? The Lord angry at the earth, that's not mentioned, but just get you some, all right, beans and rice, 90 days, and within that, you're gonna learn some more survival. You Americans are finished, man. Okay, old, young, newborn, unborn, men, women, okay, you're finished, man. Okay, 90 days of food ain't the solution to the judgment that's getting ready to come, man. But that shows you the pride. Survive and do what? You see, people don't watch so many movies, they think that they're just gonna be operating like the Walking Dead, and you know, they're gonna be, nah, man. It's gonna be way worse than you think, man. Okay? Way worse than you people think, man. Let's get some precepts. All right, because real quick, scriptures even addressed it when you go to because we in the spirit, we're gonna have to leave the world behind, man, and depend on our power. Okay, the elect are going to be forced to depend on their power in these times, man. We are the hopeful elect. All right, the Lord gonna set it up to where we're forced to believe in our power, man. Okay, and I say you can have a few things, but you're talking about surviving. Okay, based on how you prep, man. Nah, man, it don't work like that. Okay, let's go here. This is 2nd Ezra 14:37. So I took the 5. No, I need to go 16. So like 16. This is 2nd Ezra 16:37 said, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bring forth a son with 2 or 3 hours of her of her birth. Great pains come past her womb, all right, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment." You see, they slack not a moment. Even so shall the plagues be not be slack. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And people don't understand the sorrow is going to come from every side, man. People don't consider that and what that means. It says they're not going to slack a moment. Okay, you're not going to have 2 hours, okay, and stand over no stove to cook no goddamn beans and rice, man. Okay, the Lord finna have it going down. It said sorrow shall come on it on every side. Okay, this is what the Lord is finna bring, man. The Lord finna bring pressure in the earth, man. All right, and people in their mind, some people really think that because they got a few things, a pressure cooker, whatever, and they say there's nothing wrong with having those things. There's nothing wrong if you got some stuff canned. There's nothing wrong. Okay. But if the end game doesn't involve us being on those chariots, man, it's over. Okay, we gotta get on them chariots. We're gonna need miracles to survive. Okay, and ultimately we gotta get on those chariots, man, to be preserved from these times. That's who's gonna survive is the elect of Israel in America, man. Okay, What's coming to America, the elect of Israel, okay, that's in America are going to survive, okay, through miracles, man, and through a deliverance. And you have the elect throughout the world, okay, that's going to be delivered, because it's going to get bad all throughout the world. It's going to be the worst here in America, man. And America is the place of their second Exodus, man. Okay, where it's going to be great destruction and the great deliverance. Okay, but you're going to have our people. You got brothers everywhere throughout the world. Brothers and their families throughout the world going to be getting delivered. All right, the elect throughout the world going to be getting delivered. You see, we just putting emphasis on America because this is the place of their great destruction, man. Okay, where no inhabitants of the land are going to make it. Okay, it's a heavy. The Lord says he's going to leave this place with no inhabitants, man. Okay, that's what's coming, man. So the beans ain't going to get you out of that, man. Okay, it says, even so, verse 29, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Okay, now I'm going to jump down. All right, to verse 45, it says, and therefore they that labor in vain. So you're laboring to prep. All right, people still in the spirit of chasing the bag. It's going to be all in vain. The bag is going to go digital. It's going to disappear first. Okay, the bag you've been chasing is going to disappear. Then it's going to go digital. Okay, all these preparations is going to be in vain. You don't know what judgment the Lord got, man. Okay, it says, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives, for in captivity and famine shall they get children, man. It's going to be a completely different atmosphere out here, man. Okay, it's not. See, you Americans are used to a controlled environment. Okay, it's going to be very chaotic and hectic out here, man. Extremely violent. Okay, because you got people that's been storing and prepping as far as food, but then you got people that's already clicking up, okay, to go on raids. Okay, it's gonna be groups that's tactical and out here just going on raids, man. You see, they're going from the tactical aspect instead of doing all their prepping, and you just gonna take from the preppers, man. Okay. So all this, matter of fact, let me read verse 47. It says, and they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more I will be angry with them for their sins, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. So the Lord said he's going to be more angry with you. All this prepping, but no acknowledgement of, damn, I'm tripping. You see, the earth is sinful. Okay, the Lord is judging sin. No one's looking from that perspective. The Lord is judging a sinful society, man. Okay, no one's looking from that perspective, man. Everyone's talking about, I'm gonna do this. If that happened, I'm gonna do that. I got this. Okay. The Lord said, look, the more, all right, that you deck out their cities, their houses, their possessions, their own person, the more He's gonna be angry. Okay, because that's you telling the Lord, look, I'm gonna ride your judgment out. I got it prepped. Okay. I'm gonna prep my way through your judgment, man. Okay, that's why the Lord finna go so hard in America, man, because it's just this ingrained pride that's in America, man. Okay. So let's go from there. Let me get this one. Then I got one more video I want to go into. Let's go here to the book of Matthew. So let's go to the book of Proverbs. So like, that's where I want to go. We'll go to Proverbs 10. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 1. It says the Proverbs. All right. I jumped down to 2 to get to the point. Proverbs 10 and 2, it says, treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness deliver from death. Okay, so treasures of wickedness profit nothing. And you go into this word, okay, treasures in the Hebrew. All right, Hatazar, okay, yeah, Hatazar, okay, well, Atazar in the Hebrew, it says treasure, storehouses is gold, silver, it's another thing. You know, people talking about get gold, get silver. Listen, man, that's not going to be a help in judgment, man. Okay, if you in the crosshairs of the Most High for judgment, gold and silver is not going to benefit you in these times, man. Okay, and people think it's going to be some type of bartering system. You might have a little, but you got to have integrity to have a barter system, man. Folks don't be desperate and entitled. This is America. These people are desperate and entitled, man. They're going to be desperate and screaming entitled, all right? So this gold and silver, this little barter system people think gonna be going on in their mind. No, man. It's gonna be okay, a brawl for it all every day. Okay, it's gonna be surviving to the next moment. You see? So let's go here. It says store supplies of food or drink. Okay, and then also what magazines of weapons. Okay, so a storehouse is going to profit nothing. You can have food, gold, guns, you have all these things stored up, but they profit nothing in the day of judgment, man. Okay, it says an armory, which is weaponry, a cellar, which is food. Okay, so you can have all these things stored up, man, but if you're not of the elect of Israel, man, it's going to be a non-factor. Okay, it's not even going to be factored in. You see? So let's go to this other video real quick. It said righteousness delivered from death, man. And our righteousness is in Yahushua. Okay. Storehouses profit nothing but righteousness, and their righteousness that the elect have is of Yahushua. Okay, which is going to get us pardon. Razazah, we endure will be pardoned from what's to come. Okay. So let's go here real quick. Just a quick video.
You know, I just took a ride to my local mall. There's a discount store that I go to. And I'm looking around and there's a big sign that says that the whole mall is for sale because there's really nothing left. We just got notice that we're losing a Dick's, and we already lost Macy's and the other big stores that were in there over the years. But does anybody else feel like we're losing the United States of America? Everything is disappearing. Every store, no Zayres, no Ames, no Hills, no Sears and Roebuck, no Kmart's. What is happening? What I used to know growing up is no longer. Is this social media and AI all worth it? We, America, are disappearing.
You're right about that. And the Lord gonna make this place disappear off the map. Okay, the nukes are on the way. All right. You see, everything is going out of business, man. America, like I say, Babylon the Great is going out of business, man. And it's gonna be the Lord that shut the doors on this place with the nukes and the fire from the chariots, man. Okay, ain't gonna be a building standing. You see, it's not gonna be a building standing, man. The Lord, all right, finna wipe this place off, and what we're seeing is America being liquidated. Okay, and the elites are getting ready to transition into a new system, man. America just being liquidated, man. Okay, let me see real quick. So let's go here real quick. I just looked it up, dealing with to liquidate. And somehow those missiles are going to turn these elements, it's going to liquefy these elements, man. Okay, said liquidate means converting non-cash assets like inventory, stocks, or property into cash, often to settle debts or close a business. It is used to describe selling assets, paying off liabilities, or eliminating, killing. Synonyms include to sell off, to convert, to clear, to settle, discharge, or eliminate. Man. And the Lord's getting ready to liquidate America, man. He's finna settle, all right, the score in America, man. Okay, and this place is gonna be liquidated through fire. Okay, the Lord's gonna erase America off the map. Okay, and people have no idea. You see, people have no idea of where the Lord gonna take this thing, man. All right, let's just get one precept. There's a few you can get into with that, but let's just sum it up with this one. All right, the scripture says, "What the elements shall melt." Okay, with fervent heat. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9. All right. Let's see. Yep, this is Amos 9:8. It said, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom," and this was speaking of us at the time we was going off, back when we had sovereignty as a people. Okay, and when we was a kingdom, and our kings and our leaders just kept going off, man, causing the rest of the nation to go off and become sinful. Okay, but now, all right, America, all right, is in this spot. Okay, America is this sinful kingdom. Okay, and it says, "And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, the remnant, said the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai." Okay, so the eyes of the Lord, the chariots, are on this sinful kingdom, man, and the reports that's going up ain't good. Okay, that's why eventually judgment going to come down via the nuclear missiles and the chariots, man, which is going to destroy this place off the face of the earth. Okay, so yeah, man, we in some times, okay, of the Lord finalizing a lot of judgment at the earth, man. All right, a lot of judgment in the earth. Okay, we in the time where the Lord finna close this thing out, man. All right. It's going to be a great transition of power from one people to another, the people of Esau. Okay. His power is going to be translated unto Jacob. Okay. And he's going to captivity, man. So there's big moves being made in the earth, man, beyond, all right, some goddamn beans and rice and, okay, Macy's closing, man. Everything from the close. Okay, permanently, man. All right. So, Lord will, all right, you brothers and you sisters edified till next time and say shalom. Kwam Yashala, Baba Ba Shalom.